All right, I'm trying to display these two decks. They're for sale. They both operate perfectly, but yeah, let me just show you what's going on here. The first deck on top is the CDR500. They're both Marantz products. CDR500. What's unique about it is it will actually take your original disc, a factory disc, and it will recreate the data, the text, the information on each song. And then both decks will play music when you're done if you just want to have a couple of CDs playing. But my point is the one on the right is just a player. Okay, the other one's the recorder. The 631 below it, it has a player, but it's a recorder. So it has on the back, just like the CDR500, digital inputs and analog inputs. And basically you can record from, say, this digital CDR500. You could plug into the back digitally and go straight to digital on the 631, or you could take an analog source like a phonograph or a tape player, or this very CDR500 and go in an analog manner and make a CD as well. Now the 631, you need to create the data, the text, well, on what's going on with your recorded material. It will not generate that on its own. What it will do is generate the tracks. So track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, but it will not generate the text. Okay, so I'm using Memorex discs, and I know that everybody has a particular, yeah, I'm dropping them too, has a particular brand or type that they think is the best. I use what works, and yeah, you're going to have to look around because sometimes what seems like a good thing might work, it won't work. So anyway, Memorex, that's what's going on here. These are 80-minute CDs. And I'm going to load this up. So here's the factory disc. Lake Street Dive is the band. And I've got the other two discs in. And now it's reading the blank disc and initializing. And then what's going to happen is on the Marantz deck, the 500, it will actually try to do a fast record, which is a benefit if you're just using that deck. But since the CDR631 is trying to record in an analog manner, we need to play the whole program. So when I get up to the selection of what type of recording to use with a CDR500, I actually have to choose listen. So that would, in other words, be the full program that would be playing. I take a break here. Okay, so see how it says record fast? That would be if I was running that deck. I could record a little faster the CD that was in the factory one to the copy one. But now I'm going to listen because now it needs to play in a full analog manner. Okay? So what's going to happen here is the Marantz 500, it actually records the text data first, okay? And after that's done, it'll be ready to roll. So the 631 is waiting for the CDR500 to start, okay? That's the sound source it's plugged into. And the CDR631 is recording in an analog manner. I have a couple RCA cables exiting out the back of the 500 on the play deck, going into the analog input on the 631. I could have used digital, but I used analog. You can use either one. Okay, and as soon as this 500 gets done doing its business, it will start, and same time the other one will start, and there we go. Now the difference is the Marantz showed you the total minutes on the disc, and now it's actually showing you the total time frame of the recording. So the 631 is showing you the total time that's transpiring. And yeah, anyway, that's just how that looks. It's doing the same thing, but it's just doing it in a sort of a backwards manner. Okay, so at this point, I had some headphones on and I was trying to show this and that, but I'm going to actually turn this off my recording and put some of the CDs on. I'll start with the analog version. Well, let me say, I'll start off with the original CD, and then I'll go with the Marantz 500 digital copy, and then I'll go with the CDR631 analog recording. So let's do that right. The original recording, which is digital, going to the digital deck of the 500, and then going to the analog deck input of the 631. Okay? All right, here, pretty quick is going to be the change to track 2. Watch the 2 decks and watch them change to track 2. This is the digital CDR500 recording. Same thing. Okay, coming right up is the analog recording into the 631 off of the original CD. Yeah.
Heart like yours, no, so cold.
Yeah, and so now I'm going back to the CDR500 and I'm playing that disc in the recording deck, which is actually a play deck as well. We'll get it to track 1 here eventually. There. Shows the track title. Stop the other deck. And there we go. Yeah. And then after I was doing that, I thought, well, you know what? Why don't I just take out the CDs from both decks, the ones that have been recorded, and put them into the main player of the Marantz CD500 and show that they work there. So that's what you're going to see lastly. Somewhere, eventually that'll happen. So I haven't spent much time with these decks in a long time. They've been sitting and, again, taken well care of. I have the manuals for both. I have one remote control, and they both react to that. Oh yeah, so now I'm finalizing these recordings. Those were just the regular ones. Now we'll go into the other deck, because it can only play in a normal deck if it's finalized, right? Hopefully you know that if you're looking at these decks. Anyway, so I have one remote, and the idea is it actually controls both of them. So if you use them in tandem, you want to make clear that you don't do what I do. In other words, do one, and I'm not sure which one's listening to the remote at that point. Also, on the slide-out drawers of the recording decks, there's a little plastic window, a little rectangle there to the left, and right under the Marantz name, and that is indicative of the remote control. So that is its sensor, apparently, or at least tells you that you've got that, or that it has that available. Also, the other thing I didn't talk about, when you turn the machines on, you turn them on with your finger. At that point, they're in standby until you initiate something either on the controls, on the face of the machines, or with the remote control. And when I go to turn this off, which I will eventually, it will go to standby mode because I use my remote control. It turned them both off. And then I had to physically go and turn the buttons, press those buttons to the lower left-hand corner of the decks to turn it off. If you know all this stuff, that's great. But there you have it. So I'm going to let this finish out in silence. Actually, I'm going to actually play the 3 songs in order to tag this out. So in other words, the original CD, the CDR500 copy, just the snippets of it, and then the one from the 631. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.